Today, the real debate is between two fundamentally different technologies, the heat pump water heater and the tankless water heater. Choosing between them isn't just about getting hot water. It's a decision that impacts your energy bills, your home's layout, and even your carbon footprint for years to come. So, let's break it down. Forget the confusing sales pitches and technical jargon. This is a straightforward look at what makes each one tick, where they shine, and where they fall short, so you can make a smart choice for your home. How they work. Here's what matters at the core of this decision. These two systems approach heating water from completely opposite directions. A heat pump water heater doesn't create heat from scratch. Instead, it acts like a refrigerator in reverse. It pulls warmth from the surrounding air and transfers that heat into a tank of water. Because it's moving heat rather than generating it, it can be incredibly efficient. Think of it as a clever heat scavenger. It uses a small amount of electricity to run a compressor and fan to concentrate ambient heat and dump it into your water supply, a process that makes it a champion of energy savings. A tankless water heater, on the other hand, is all about instant gratification. Often called an on-demand heater, it does exactly what the name implies. When you turn on a hot water tap, cold water flows into the unit, where it passes over a powerful heating element, either electric coils or a gas burner, that flash heats the water to your desired temperature. There is no storage tank, which means no standby heat loss from keeping dozens of gallons of water hot 24/7. It only works when you need it, and for as long as you need it, providing a theoretically endless stream of hot water. Energy efficiency and operating cost. This is where the distinction becomes critical for your wallet. Heat pump water heaters are the undisputed champions of energy efficiency. Because they transfer heat instead of creating it, they can operate at efficiencies of 300 to 400%. Let me explain that. For every unit of electricity they consume, they deliver 3 to 4 units of heat to the water. This translates into significant long-term savings, often cutting water heating electricity use by 60% or more compared to a standard electric tank. Some manufacturers even claim they save 60% on energy bills versus an electric tankless model. Their efficiency is measured by a uniform energy factor, UEF, and heat pump models routinely boast UEF ratings around 3.5 to 4.0, which is exceptionally high. Tankless water heaters are significantly more efficient than old-school storage tank heaters because they completely eliminate standby losses. That's a big deal, as a traditional tank is constantly firing up to keep its water hot. However, their overall efficiency usually can't compete with a heat pump. Gas tankless units are generally more efficient than electric ones, but neither can achieve the 300% efficiency of a heat pump. While they save energy by only heating water when needed, the process of generating that intense, instantaneous heat is energy intensive. Performance and hot water delivery. Performance isn't just about efficiency, it's about whether you get the hot water you need when you need it. With a heat pump water heater, you're still dealing with a tank, which acts as a buffer. It has a large reservoir of hot water ready to go. This means it can typically handle simultaneous uses, like running a shower and a dishwasher at the same time, without a problem, provided the tank is sized correctly for your household. The potential downside is that if you use up all the hot water in the tank, you have to wait for it to recover. However, because the tanks are large and the recovery is supplemented by the heat pump, this is rarely an issue for most families. Tankless heaters offer a different proposition: endless hot water. As long as the tap is on, the heater will keep producing hot water, so you'll never run out mid-shower. But there's a major caveat: flow rate. A tankless unit is rated for a certain number of gallons per minute, GPM, it can heat. If you try to run too many fixtures at once, you'll exceed that flow rate, and the unit will either deliver lukewarm water or reduce the flow to a trickle. This makes them excellent for single people or small households with predictable usage, but potentially problematic for a large family trying to do laundry, wash dishes, and shower all at once. For larger homes, you might need an oversized unit or even multiple tankless heaters to meet peak demand, which complicates things. Climate and placement. Where you live and where you plan to install the unit are huge factors. Heat pump water heaters are sensitive to their environment. Since they work by pulling heat from the air, they are most efficient in warm or moderate climates. They need to be installed in a space with adequate airflow, typically at least 1,000 cubic feet, and in a location that stays between 4 degrees Fahrenheit and 90 degrees Fahrenheit. If you put one in a cold basement or garage, its efficiency will drop significantly, and it may have to rely on its less efficient backup electric resistance elements to heat the water, negating much of the cost savings. Tankless water heaters are far more flexible when it comes to climate. Since they generate their own heat, their performance isn't affected by the ambient air temperature. They work just as well in a Minnesota winter as they do in a Florida summer, though you do need to protect the pipes from freezing in cold climates. Their compact, wall-mounted design also means they can be installed in tight spaces like closets or utility rooms where a bulky heat pump unit with its tank wouldn't fit. For gas models, however, you have to consider ventilation requirements, which can limit placement options. Upfront and total cost. Initially, both options represent a significant investment compared to a basic storage tank heater. A heat pump water heater unit typically costs between $1,500 and $3,000. A tankless water heater has a similar price range, from about $1,000 to $3,500, depending on the model and whether it's gas or electric. However, the upfront cost isn't the full story. Heat pump water heaters are often eligible for substantial federal tax credits and local utility rebates, which can reduce the initial price by up to $2,000 or more in some cases. These incentives are designed to encourage the adoption of high-efficiency technology and can make a heat pump the cheaper option up front. Tankless water heaters, especially gas models, are generally not eligible for the same level of incentives. Furthermore, their installation costs can sometimes be higher. High-power electric tankless models often require expensive upgrades to a home's electrical panel and wiring, while gas models may need new, larger gas lines and complex venting systems. When you factor in the lower operating costs and available rebates for heat pumps, their total cost of ownership over a decade is often significantly lower than that of a tankless unit, even if the initial sticker price is similar. Lifespan and maintenance. Both technologies offer a longer lifespan than traditional tank heaters. A well-maintained tankless water heater can last 20 years or even longer, which is a major selling point. Their longevity comes from having fewer parts that wear out, although they do require regular maintenance. The primary task is periodic descaling, especially in areas with hard water, to prevent mineral buildup from clogging the heat exchanger. This is a crucial step to ensure both performance and longevity. Heat pump water heaters have a more complex design that includes a compressor and fan, similar to an air conditioner. As a result, their lifespan is typically a bit shorter, usually around 12 to 15 years. Maintenance involves tasks similar to a standard tank, like checking the anode rod, but also includes cleaning the air filter to ensure proper airflow to the heat pump mechanism. While their lifespan might be shorter, the significant energy savings they provide over that period often more than compensates for the eventual replacement cost. Best fit use cases. So, what's the bottom line? A heat pump water heater is the clear winner for homeowners whose top priority is maximizing energy efficiency and minimizing long-term operating costs. If you live in a moderate to warm climate, have a suitable installation space like a basement or garage with adequate airflow, and your household has fairly consistent hot water needs, a heat pump is an incredibly smart investment. The available tax credits and rebates make it even more compelling, often leading to a quick payback period. A tankless water heater, however, excels in situations where space is at a premium. For smaller homes, apartments, or as a point-of-use heater for a specific bathroom, its compact, wall-mounted design is a game-changer. It's also a great choice for households with intermittent but high-volume hot water needs. like someone who enjoys very long showers but doesn't have a family using other fixtures simultaneously. If you're willing to invest in the necessary electrical or gas line upgrades and prioritize endless hot water over the absolute lowest energy bill, a tankless system delivers on its promise of on-demand convenience.